He can make up a new insult every day.
People love that.
Yeah, that's true.
Royal
That's
boob.
true.
Yeah, well, that absolutely was. Did he say boob? Can you say that in a cartoon? I don't know. We'll keep going.
You royal boob.
Hello, and welcome to GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. Today, we are headed back to Eternia to chat with a couple of Eternia's biggest foes. Maybe we can talk it out here. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and introduce our guest. First, he is a voice, film, stage, and television actor who is in his 7th decade of acting. Please help me welcome Alan Oppenheimer. How are you doing, sir? Oppenheimer.
No, it's not Oppenheimer. It's Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
That's correct. Now you may go on.
All right. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Are you over? Where are you at right now?
I'm in Los Angeles. I've had my 2 shots, so I can talk to you.
Fantastic. Yeah. How are things in LA right now? How's the weather?
Oh, it's gorgeous. This is the first day of spring, and my deck is bathed in sunlight. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful here. It must be 70 something.
That sounds amazing. Well, you ready to chat with our other guest?
Yep.
All right. She is a voice actor for animation, television, commercials, more, anything that there could be a voice for. She is also the Princess of Power. Please help me welcome Melendy Britt. Melendi, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. So I wasn't good a couple of weeks ago, but I'm really fine today. Thank you.
Okay, well, yeah, we had to push it back a little bit, but here we are. We're hanging out. We're hanging out. How's quarantine? How has this last year been for you guys?
Well, for me, it is a year, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty amazing. At first, I think I told someone I thought it was just going to be for a month. I guess everybody did. And then this whole thing turned into a whole alternate universe, which is not Etheria or Eternia. So it's been pretty weird, to be really honest. Very, very strange. But like Alan, I got my 2 shots now, so I can talk to you. I can talk to Alan. In fact, I might just come over to your house, Alan, and give you a big hug.
What'd you say?
I said, in fact, Alan, I might just come over to your house and give you a big hug because we're both vaccinated.
Oh my God. Let's get off here.
No, we have this chat to do. We can't just.
Okay.
Well, you guys can go together, and then I'll just chat with you guys together.
No, Milo, I got to answer your question that you asked Melendi. How's it been for the last year? This is a very strange thing. I'm much older than she is. So the weekends come faster and the year comes faster. I can't believe it's a year. And it hasn't bothered me at all. I do nothing. So I don't know why I'm filling the time or how. But it just doesn't seem like a year to me.
Nope, it's just flown by. Have you guys been able to do anything, that other people have done? Learn recipes, write a book? Have you been able to do any of that stuff in this downtime?
I had to give up my hobbies. My big hobby was playing 3-cushion billiards, and I can't go to the billiard parlor. And I gave up tennis a while ago. I'm too old for that. But anyway, I read a lot and nap a lot. You'll come to that, Melendi. You're too young.
Yeah.
But you'll nap a lot.
I have my daughter is with me now. She's been with me since November, the beginning of November, because unfortunately she got COVID, one of the first ones in New York. So she's what they call a long hauler. She still has the symptoms. So she came out here. to recuperate. And the sun has been great for her because it takes away some of the pain. And so I'm so glad that our weather here has been so delicious for this whole time. And she's got a little, I think of it as like in the Thomas Mann's The Mountain, Magic Mountain, where they're all recuperating at the place on top of the mountain with the sun. I always think of that and say, well, she's recuperating and in sort of Europe, not really, but sort of Switzerland. But, so she's doing better.
God, that's hard.
Okay.
That is.
Yeah, it's very hard, very hard, very hard. And there are about, I think they said there are so many who have these recurring symptoms and are these symptoms that don't go away or haven't gone away. But they have a wonderful support group, which is great. So
that's great.
Yeah, it is.
So we're going to try to pick up the room a little bit
Yeah,
now.
pick it up there, yeah.
Did you guys think that here we are in 2021? Did you think that we would still be, when you first signed on to your projects, still be talking about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe to this day?
I didn't think I'd live this long. What are you talking about?
I agree with Alan. It's like what? But it's honest to God, for me, it's the greatest gift I have ever been given.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And I'll tell you what I really do miss is the person-to-person conventions. I love talking with the people, that's the one thing I do miss. I really do miss that interaction, that personal interaction. I do miss it.
I mean,
So
there's
this is
nothing.
a good substitute, but I do miss being there with them.
Yeah, there's nothing like actually being able, because I remember a lot, and you too, I'm sure, Alan, both of us have been so fortunate to have these great fans. And it to be able to hug somebody who wants a hug from you, it's just like, oh yeah. I mean, it's just beautiful. And I love them all.
Have people come to the table with stories, how you influence their lives, and then say, can I give you a hug? Oh God, I do miss that.
Yeah, I know. It's really terrific. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, I mean, Melendi, your character, Shira, touched a lot of people.
Yeah.
Touched a lot of little girls who it gave them that power so that they want to hug you.
Well, it's the guys too, because Shira, interestingly enough, appealed to so many different kinds and different ages of people. And
Absolutely.
I've tried to figure this out, and I think it's because anyone who had a disability or who felt different, they were all in Etheria. Everyone was loved. It was unconditional love for everyone. And I think that's why so many people of many different ages and sexes loved her. I've gotten so many wonderful mails from so many people, and Ellen does too. So many people's lives we've touched.
As I said before, people have heard this. I did the show, got paid, and went home. And then 30 years later, this comes up, and a guy comes to the table and he says, well, I was 6 or 7 contemplating suicide, and there was a message at the end of one of the shows, and it gave me the courage to go on. Well, geez, we never thought of anything like that. No, it was entertainment. That we could affect somebody's personal life that way. And that's the thing I really miss about these conventions, is that kind of openness with fans. Yes, honey, what?
I was going to say, it really lets me know that we have to remember that every little thing that we do in life, whatever we think it is, how small we think it is, can make a world of difference for somebody else.
That's right.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned...
Jody?
I wasn't sure if it was a ghost.
No, it was. We were going to think about. We're going to put her here and just let her eyes show. That's my little sidekick. That's Orko down there.
Now, Alan, you mentioned, it was just it was a job, it was a paycheck, and you went home, but you did 130 episodes over 2 years. You weren't just Skeletor. You did several voices. You did the Shira. Did you just? I mean, at what point did you actually go home, or did you just live in the studio?
Oh boy.
Did you spend any, like, how, when was your downtime, or did you spend most of your time in the studio?
That's funny. You talking to Melendi?
No, talking to you.
Oh,
Talking to you. I mean,
no, there was no downtime because I was working every day. I was working either in television or at Hanna-Barbera, or also downtown at the Mark Taper. I worked constantly for about 35 years.
Man.
Every day in one medium or another of this, of showbiz. The only thing I never did was the circus, but I've done everything else. I even did a cabaret act one time. I was so bad. One time in New York, when I was doing Sunset Boulevard, I put together an act. God, I was awful. But anyway, I played, what's the name of that place? Don't Tell Mama, or something like that, on 40-something Street. So the man who put it together for me, who was Margaret Whiting and her husband, he wanted me to do it again. I said, never, never, never. I'll be stoned.
Were you singing,
Hmm?
Alan? Were you singing or comedy, or what was it?
No, I put together a nightclub act of patter and song.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, 8 or 10 songs and anecdotes of my career. I was just awful.
I have to say, to do an act, that is probably one of the hardest things in the world to do.
Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I can see. I sang in Chicago once, but that was different. I didn't know how bad I was, probably.
Well, I have a tape of how bad I was.
Oh, okay. How fun.
I burned as many as I could, but I kept one.
I want to see that. See that.
Melendi, same thing with you. You did 93 episodes over the course of 2 years.
Yeah.
Again, you did multiple voices as well. Did you just live in the studio during that time?
No. But as Alan was saying, that was just one of the jobs we had. Back then, we were both working a lot. I was working a lot, mostly in television and in other voiceovers, commercials, and other animation. In fact, Alan and I did a Transformers together once. He played Seascape, and I was Alana. But we even meet each other sometimes in a job, all the friends. But no, just like Alan, we were just doing our career, and we loved this one. We loved Filmation. I did, at least, and I know Alan did too, because the camaraderie was so great. And because we had 93 episodes, we were really able to get to know each other very, very well.
We had a wonderful time.
Yeah, really did.
Yeah, no, we cut up a lot in rehearsal.
Yes, you did. I laughed.
Wound up in the show. Lou said, keep that in, right?
Yeah. Right. But I was.
Skeletor's laugh was not written in the beginning. And I don't know why I put it in early. He said, keep that in. And then it became a signature of Skeletor.
Wow.
Yeah, true.
Wow, so Skeletor's laugh totally ad-libbed.
Oh, yeah. On an early episode, I have no idea. Suddenly I went, he said, keep that in. And I just kept doing it till they, threw me off the air.
Are you guys ready for some fan questions?
Sure.
All right, so let's jump right into it. Starting with our first fan question from Pat Fife. Which co-star made you laugh the most?
Well, for me, of course, it's him.
Well, it could have been Mike Bell. It could have been Paul Winchell, Hamilton Camp. I had a lot of guys. Great fun. Great fun.
The guys that I've worked with are hysterical. Were hysterical, and Michael Bell was one of them too. He and I did a series together called Plastic Man, and he was my love interest. I don't know I can't remember if he loved me or not, but I was mad about him. And I talked to him like, oh, please. Oh, he was just so in love with it. You just couldn't stand it.
God, I married a woman like this
I
once.
know how annoying is that. But anyway, Michael was very, very funny too. Yeah.
Very
funny. Bob Ridgely was another one that I worked with who was hysterical. Okay, and then of course Alan and the guys had the rapport they had with their humor was amazing.
We had the best, didn't we? John Irwin and I laughed a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You and John, and I would sit there and not try not to laugh because you guys are so funny.
Yeah. Oh, we had a wonderful time.
I mean, when you laugh, you ruin the take, right? So you gotta keep that straight face.
That's why
our next question. Our next question from Lynn. What is your favorite piece of Skeletor and She-Ra memorabilia that you own?
You first.
Well, I have one script that I have, and I don't know why I didn't keep the others because we just didn't. And I have one script that is so dear to me as well. And one other thing, I have the invitation to this the private screening of the opening of Secret of the Sword. So I have that, but that's all. And I just have one. Yeah.
I didn't save them either.
I know.
I have a friend. You know the name Rene Aubergenois, of course.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Well, he was on Star Trek. He saved every script.
Amazing.
Parceled them out and sold them.
Wow. Oh, okay.
I just threw them away when I walked out of the studio.
That's kind of what I did because we had so many other scripts,
I'll be back next week. I don't know.
What I mean is we had so many other scripts that, you couldn't keep a room full of those things that we did and all the copy that we had to do, No. So, but I don't know why that one is still here, but it was. And the invitation was small enough that it was stuck away somewhere I just found it recently. Yeah.
I do have some little toys or stuff in Killer that fans have given me. And that I have, yeah.
Yeah, so do you have a room full of just little Skeletor figures somewhere around?
No, I'm not that self-involved. I have some things around here. Yeah. Oh, I have a Skeletor poster over there that somebody made, but otherwise, and I have me with one of the Muppets. I don't even remember doing it, And I have Rhinoki from that series that I did, but the Wuzzles. But that's about it. No.
All right, our next question, here we go. From Matthew, what cartoons, if any, did you like to watch as a kid?
That's very funny. There was no television when I was a kid. I used to run home to listen to the radio. That's why I became an actor, because I love voices, And I'd go home to listen to Don Winslow of the Navy or, whatever was popular at the time. And, like the kids came home to watch cartoons, I come home to listen to the radio, stare at the radio like the people in it,
Absolutely.
I loved Mighty Mouse and Dopey, that dog, Dopey. I love Dopey. I did. He was so cute. And Dudley Do-Right. That's who I liked.
I love
They're my
Western.
favorites.
I love Western. I love Westerns. I love doing Westerns and watching them. Yeah.
I loved Roy Rogers. I thought so. Roy Rogers.
Oh, wow.
Trigger. Yeah.
I'm allergic to horses, so I would have to take an antihistamine before I did my scenes.
Yeah.
Oh.
The sneezing cowboy,
Right. That could be a completely new genre.
Yeah. Get him up, Scout. No, the Lone Ranger. I used to listen to the Lone Ranger a lot too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. I like Lone Ranger. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Our next question
Yes, sir.
from Chris. What got both of you into voice acting, and how young were you when you first started?
You first, dear.
Me first. I was, let's see, I was, God, I must have been 16 because, and then I was an actress. I had a television show. I had 2 television shows, live television shows back in Houston. And then someone saw me when I got to be about 16. Someone from a jazz station called. And I used to, my voice, I used to have a lot of trouble in Texas. I think I was allergic to Texas because I constantly had this thing called chronic rhinitis. And my voice was it had a kind of a Andy Devine-ish sort of a thing. And they asked me to be the voice of this jazz station. And I got to be known as the girl with the velvet voice. And so that was when I was 16 or 17. So that's how I got into it. And when I was a little girl, my dad used to have one of these reel-to-reel portable tape recorders. And I used to listen to commercials. And while I was waiting for him, and he would say, listen to the tape recorder and practice some things. So I started hearing, I remember one commercial for Suave. So I started doing all these commercials, and my favorite one was Suave. So that's how I got started. And then coming to Los Angeles, my commercial agent said, would you like to do voiceovers? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? So that's how that got started.
I was a junior in college. I talked myself into one time on a show called Adventures in Research Radio. And I would play, every week I would play a different scientist or inventor with different accents from different countries. And I remember one time I had to do a South African, and I had no idea what he sounded like, but I knew that South Africa was populated with the Belgians, the Boers, Boers, and the English. So
that's more than I know now.
I put together in my imagination what that would sound like. And then years later, I happened to be listening to something from the UN, and the ambassador from South Africa was talking, and he was copying me.
Oh my gosh.
And I had nailed it, and I didn't know it. Just through
my gosh.
imagination of combining those 2 nationalities. Yeah.
Well, that was pretty smart, pretty smart.
It was called Adventures in Research. Yeah.
Okay.
KDKA, Pittsburgh.
Well, let's
Milo,
see.
are you there?
I can see it on the bottom. It says, from Anne, what would be your dream project to work on?
After
Alan?
you.
Me? Okay.
Yeah,
what would be your dream
give me a chance to
work
think.
on? Let's see. A dream project. I don't know that. Well, I've been kind of out of the business except for doing some voiceovers and cartoons and animation and video games. So I don't know what's coming up. I find that the world today is moving so fast that tomorrow there might be something absolutely new that I've never even heard of that I might want to be working on. But right now, I don't know. I don't have a dream project I'd like to be working on, except to do similar things with my voice or my presence that are going to have an impact on people's lives, a positive impact on people's lives. And that's about all I can say, because I don't know what's out there or what someone would have to ask me, do you want to do this? And I'd say yes or no. But that's the kind of thing I'd like to work on, things that help people.
You're more charitable than I am.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
There are people that I would love to have worked with, like Gene Hackman and people like that. Great actors that I wish I had a career at the same time.
I agree with that, Alan. Yeah.
But A project? No, I don't know. Just throw something my way. I've turned down a lot because I don't much care for obscenity on screen or on.
Absolutely. I'm tired of it.
Man, I tell you,
There we
I've
go.
turned down auditions, I've turned down jobs. I can't understand why. What the hell's the matter with people? Cheap.
I just think that, as I was saying before, that the world is moving so fast. Nobody has time to assimilate who or what they are, or what they want to see, or what they need. Thanks, Anne. Maybe we'll get another question in the bottom we can answer until we fix the technical difficulties. Here we go. From Sean.
Lines or scenes from things that have stuck with you.
Do you have any lines or scenes from any of your past shows that have stuck with you?
I never thought of it. No, I'd have to think about that.
Well, I think your laugh is pretty lingering. And Skeletor, let's say.
The Skeletor laugh. Well, Mary and I were touring South America a few years ago, and we had a driver and a guide, and so the guide said, "Oh, the driver wants to know. What do you do?" She said. I said, "Oh, well, I'm an actor." So the driver said, "Yeah, what have I seen him in?" In Spanish. We were in Santiago, Chile. What have I seen you in? So I named some movies to the guide, and she translated that into Spanish. It meant nothing to him. So then I said, ask him if he ever watched cartoons. And he said, yes. So I went, whoa, we hit the right curve. The same thing happened. Different driver, same reaction.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Hello,
how are you?
Alan, Melendi. How are you, both of you? Yes, indeed. I don't know what happened to Milo. Apparently, he's having some technical difficulties. I just happened to. I just happened to be available. Our producer gave me a call. I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm sure he asked you this. So real quick, first of all, how are the two of you doing?
Pretty good. I mean, I'm doing great.
Fine.
Absolutely. Glad to see it and everybody else too. So I see we're doing audience questions. So have we answered Shaw's question?
Alan did. I didn't yet. Do you have any lines or scenes from any of your past shows that stuck with you? Well, of course, for the honor of Grayskull, I am Shira. I mean, it couldn't get any more memorable than that, you know.
No, I don't have any lines. No.
Science is about show those stuff. Oh yeah, no, not at all. You just an endless series of insults.
Yes.
Right. Oh, that's right. Yes.
About what you don't know.
He can make up a new insult every day.
People love that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, that absolutely would. Did he say boob? Can you say that in a cartoon? I don't know. We'll keep going.
You royal boob.
We'll go. Well, Shaw, thank you very much. And all right, let's just keep on going. Here's one from Dylan. If you could somehow interact with your characters of She-Ra and Skeletor, what would you say to them? And I'll expand this out too. You can pick any of your other Masters Universe Skeletor characters as well.
Well, I'll do Merman talking to Shira.
Okay.
Oh, Sheila, want to go for a swim with me?
And what would Shira's reaction be to an invitation to take a dip with Merman?
Is that what, were you talking to me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wake up.
I said, as Merman, I said to you,
Grab my notes, be right back.
Would you like?
I would say,
Climb in the pool and have a swim with me?
I would definitely swim with you in the pool, Skeletor, but only if your girlfriend Alana said it was okay.
She could come too.
Okay, there you go. I don't know how to do these things on this spur of the moment. I am not a good improvisational person anymore.
So that's fine. That was lovely. And if you yourselves could interact with any of your Masters Universe characters, what do you think you'd say to them?
If I could say, talk to Shira,
Yeah.
wow. I think I'd say, thank you for being an inspiration to me as well as millions of other people.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. So, all right, Dylan, thank you. Fun one. What next? From Brian, what's the best piece of advice you received from a fellow actor or someone you looked up to?
I can tell you what a director said to me. He says, this is just exposition. Get through it.
Wow. Yeah.
I was trying to make too much of it on the $6 Million Man where I played Rudy Wells. And we were in rehearsal. Oh, and I was just in rehearsal. Oh, God, I was overacting. Virgil Vogel said, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm trying to make something out of this. He says, it's exposition. It's just shit. Get through it. That was a good piece of advice.
Just best moving. We're just pushing it. We're all just pushing the plot at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember right now what the best piece of advice I ever got. I don't remember the exact words, but my high school drama teacher, Ruth Denny, we used to do plays, and I was an actress in high school, and we used to go to play contests all over Texas. And her team of actors, young actors, had won this thing for years and years and years and years. And she was a terrific director. And she told me once, because I was one of those unusual high school kids who came in as a freshman and got the lead in the play. And that was usually reserved for the older people. And she told me once, talking to me very seriously, don't forget, this is about unity. The play is about unity. It's not about you. So that was the best piece of advice I ever got.
I would concur this, and since Actors Equity says I'm an actor, I'll throw this in the lens too.
Okay.
When you are an actor, I've given this advice out too. Remember, you are a servant. You are a servant to the audience. You are a servant to the story, to the script, to the vision of the director, and that's what it is. If you want to be a celebrity or a star, be a YouTuber, be a gamer or something this way too.
Yep.
That's good.
Mhm.
To try your life. And Brian, thank you. Great question. And what do we have next? Here's one from Arthur. Were there any funny moments in the booth or pranks you played on each other?
Well,
Oh.
yes, I was doing, what's the thing, the Charlie Manson thing, Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter. I did the movie the week of that with George DiCenzo, who had worked on the show too. And I was pretty square. I really was. I was playing a square part too, but I was very square. So I came back from lunch, went in my dressing room, and I couldn't walk in. It was covered with paper strewn all over the place. And I was furious. And I opened the door, and there was the entire cast and crew waiting to see this uptight guy. And they said, Vincenzo, I never got back at him for that. Wonderful. We had a great relationship.
Melendi, how about you? Any?
No, nothing. No, there were funny moments with the guys, but nobody ever played a prank on me.
You were too radiant to like, should we just, no, what do you want to do?
I was, no, they were having too much fun. Are you kidding? I was a great guy in that business.
Well, Alan, you are one half of my favorite stories about being pranked. When you were on Speed Buggy and they asked you to sit next to Mel Blanc during the script readings.
Oh yeah, Michael Bell killed me.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, how we all worship Mel Blanc, you know. So he was, I guess, and Mel did, like that, Speed Buggy.
Yeah.
So at intermission, Mike and I in the hall, he says, listen, I know you love to sit you'd like to sit next to Mel, wouldn't you? I said, gee, yeah. And he had tipped off Mel. So when Mel went, he sprayed me good. Oh, man. It was Michael Bell did that to me.
Yeah. First time he told me that, I was on the floor laughing. And for those of you who don't recall, Speed Buggy was about a sentient car, much like Scooby Doo, whatever, and like going, and as Alan could attest to. So let's go ahead and roll another one from Elizabeth. What is the one fan interaction that meant the most to you, or a favorite fan interaction memory?
Melendi.
I have so many. I think the first one that ever happened, I guess I remember that. I remember a lot of them, but the first one that ever happened to me was, I think, one of the first conventions I'd ever been to, and a girl walked up to get a photo signed, and she had a button on there on her blouse, and she said, I asked her what it was, and she said, it's my brother. I went, oh, and she said, he passed away in hospice, and she says, and the figure that I'm giving you to sign is what he held in hospice before he passed. Well, that, it just, it of course touches me to this day, because to know that something gave somebody comfort in a transition like that was so beautiful. And then others that I've had, somebody just would tell me that they needed a hug because of what the series had meant to them and what Shira had meant to them. So I remember so many of them, but that was the one fan interaction because it was the first.
Yeah.
And deeply personal.
Mm-hmm.
That's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very sweet.
My first one was something like that. I was at a Broda show in Miami, and a man in his 30s came up to the table and told me how there was a message. I hit on this earlier. There was a message at the end of the show. By the way, I didn't realize that after we left the studio that there was a message added to the show, what it was about, person. And he said that when he was about 6 or 7, I don't know, he was contemplating suicide, and there was a message which gave him courage to go on, and now here I am talking to him. That happened 3 times to me with men, once with a woman, and she was trembling when she came up to talk to me. Yeah. And I came out and I said, can I give you a hug? She said, oh, God. And she calmed down. Her husband was over there watching. And we were grateful. Tough, I'm sorry. It'll never leave me. Like it doesn't Melendi, never. That's why these conventions mean something to me. Yeah. It's much more than, it's just meeting the people and talking with them.
Yeah.
God, that I do miss, really. Okay, sorry.
And we're going to get back to that. Like I said, it's been a tough year for all of us, especially in the convention business. But we're not at the end of the tunnel, but I think as a society we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we're getting there. And I can't wait. Yeah. My mom is getting her second shot tomorrow, which means in 5 days I will be able to hug her again, which I have not in over a year. And we're gonna get there. We are absolutely gonna get there.
Yeah. Where do you live?
I live in Orlando. I'm actually right now in South Florida at the GalaxyCon offices, which is how I was able to jump on here right now. Oh. So and my mother is here in South Florida. So okay. Yeah. And Elizabeth, thank you. That was wonderful. I think we have time for one more, so let's see if we can go out on a really good one. And this is going to come from Jeff. Out of all of the villains, who was your favorite?
Jeez.
Oh. Evelyn.
Well, I have to say Skeletor, of course.
Yeah.
He was fine. Because he was funny, too.
I love comedic villains, you know.
Yeah.
I really, I always find something amusing or funny in the worst situation. I did a what, Henry IV part one, I don't remember what it was. And I played the king on his way to the tower. I totally forgot about this. I did it years and years ago. But somebody sent, and I looked at the DVD, and here I am going to my death, and I'm lighthearted about it, like it's inevitable and I'll be all right. I couldn't believe that I made that choice.
I
think
like
it's
that choice.
very important to find. I see when people whose houses have been destroyed by a hurricane or tornado, and I see them with the smile and, well, you know, we'll be all right. I think the courage and the outlook. Most of them just don't sit there and bemoan and poor me. They are strong and they see something universally funny in it. That'll get you through a lot if you can laugh, boy.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I laugh at all my divorces. It's a good line, even if it's not true.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it certainly is.
I'm a bachelor, but I'm going to use that.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Gracious. Melody, how about you?
I don't even remember what the question was.
You know something? Neither do I, because I don't have my usual notes to write it down. It was yes. Out of all the villains, who is your favorite? Of course. And you said that.
Skeletor, because Hordak, you know, the only villains that I know in animation were Hordak and Skeletor. Hordak was funny. Catra, she wasn't. I never considered her a villain because I think I just go back into the Shira character and look at them from Shira's eyes, and they were villains, but they were never villains that wouldn't be conquered, you know, or to make them friends. Of course, we never had an end to the series, so. But that was always my opinion with She-Ra. There was never any conquering of anybody in that series. It was just, they were just kind of going, okay, do try again, you know, that kind of a thing. They're never going to get me.
I don't think villains should play villains, because their point of view is they're doing something correct, right.
Well, that's the truth of it. Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or they wouldn't be doing it. They'd be doing something else.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Hordak and Skeletor, their own way, really thought that their worlds would be better just if they were in charge.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely. Indeed. I often wish that She-Ra had a really full-blown female counterpart arch villain. Someone really that would be
an interesting sort of thing, but I don't know that it would be funny. I've never seen women who can really get along, and when they're really a villain, when they don't get along. Women do not get along when they don't get along. That's all there is to
it. As a man, I will take your word for that. And Jeff, I will thank you.
I mean, in the cartoons.
I know.
Yeah, in the real life, in political life, yeah, it's true.
Oh, and before we go though, you know, I love Aura. Can I get a Neil Hawkman?
Oh yes. On your knees, Hawkman.
GalaxyCon viewers, once again, these are the voices of Skeletor and She-Ra, and please take care. We will see you all next time. It's been my absolute pleasure to serve you both again today. Thank you to our audience for joining us. Thank you for your great questions. We apologize for the brief technical snafu. We'll get it right next time, I promise. Until then, bye-bye, everyone. Take care, and please,
bye.
Hands.